Hey everyone, my name is James, and in today's video, I'm going to be sharing my opinions about the latest news we just received about the mobile port of Terraria 1.3. Now, in the past, when it's come to news like this, I've been very soft-spoken about giving my opinion, and the main reason for that is that I care a hell of a lot about Terraria, I care about the updates, I care about this community, and I also care about the people that make one of my very favourite games, so I'm always very soft-spoken because I never really want to step on anyone's toes. But today, I feel like I have to kind of change my outlook on this because today's news, in my opinion, is not that great. So we actually got word from Pipeworks Studios earlier today that Terraria Mobile Edition has now been passed over to DR Studios. This is a team that I've heard of before. They're most well known these days for making a game called Battle Ages, and that game is a very generic freemium mobile game, the kind of game that you would never expect associated with the people that make Terraria. Now, the intention behind this is that by passing over mobile Terraria to a new studio, Pipeworks can remain focused on making the Nintendo Switch edition of Terraria, and hopefully things will be accelerated. But this isn't the first time we've heard this. So to give you a little bit of perspective, Terraria Mobile Edition came out in 2013 and was developed by Code Glue. After the 1.3 update in 2015, people were expecting pretty swiftly to be able to play that update on their mobile devices. After a year of being in development, Code Glue were kicked off the team, and we had Pipeworks Studios step in, a much larger studio, so that we could have that update even quicker. And I remember thinking at the time, a year is a very long time to be working on something and then getting kicked off it. But it's been 2.5 years and Pipeworks haven't delivered on one of the things they promised when they took over the development of Terraria. Now, I feel like there are a few reasons for this, and none of them are actually that great. Terraria Console 1.3 was delayed multiple times, and a lot of people put that down to, well, if we have a delay, then the update that we actually do get will be perfect. And that's not necessarily the case. It's been a year now since console have had Terraria 1.3, and they're still spending their time making bug fix patches rather than working on updates that provide new content. And one of the other reasons is that the studio was actually spread pretty thin when it began working on Terraria Otherworld. Now, as you lot know, Terraria Otherworld was in fact cancelled, and that kind of leads up to the fact that these 2.5 years with no updates really doesn't look good for Pipeworks. Now, I do feel like it's a bit of a disservice to all of the mobile players that play Terraria, and especially the buyers who are buying Terraria Mobile Edition with the insight that a mobile update is coming pretty soon. And this is the kind of thing that we've been hearing about for a very long time. So when I hear that Terraria has been passed once again to a new studio, I don't get excited and think that this is the time that it's going to be focused on. I think this is just another nail in this update's coffin. Now, I would of course love to see this update come out as soon as possible, but I'm not going to be sat here thinking that it's even coming in the first half of 2019. And I know that that is stepping on some toes, and I don't mean this to be so negative. It's just that I feel like Terraria having offloaded a lot of its development onto other studios has kind of backfired multiple times. This year has been a pretty rough year for a Terraria fan. We've had a very buggy version of Terraria 1.3 on console. We've had no release of the mobile update. The Nintendo Switch edition is a year behind. And the Terraria smartwatch, which once again was passed off to another studio. I mean, I know it's not properly affiliated and associated, and it's just a licensing deal, but that was in fact cancelled a couple of weeks ago. It was completely cancelled. So it's not looking like a very good year for Terraria. Now, as a Terraria fan, I would love for this studio to just step in, get it done, and get it out. And I would love that for the benefit of all the people that work on Terraria, especially the higher-ups, and of course the players. I don't want it to fail, I want it to be perfect. And as a community member, I feel like it's time to have a little bit of a voice and maybe lower your expectations a little, because I don't think it's going to happen very soon, in the slightest. So I am curious to see whether this will in fact increase the time it takes to release mobile Terraria and also Switch Terraria, because they are things that I am looking forward to, and I will keep you up to date as time goes on. So that's about it for today's video. Sorry if I annoyed anyone, but I think it's time to really speak about this, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.